Yeah, I'm sure years ago, this is supposed to be haunted. Women, lads have seen it here and there now. When you know, fella, it didn't go now too. And the talk, the Germans now are here, they call it the talk rail. It was supposed to be haunted. And there were two men one night coming from Kerry after playing cards. And one of the men seen a woman going up the road, dressed in white in front of him. And she walked away up in front of him, and she went in. She came out of one avenue and she went into another. So your man that seen him, he didn't say nothing to the fella because he thought he was going to frighten him. Go around, Matty. And he didn't say nothing to the other fella. So he was down with him the next morning, sitting a horse shod. And he said, did you see anyone walking up in front of us last night up that hill? Mickey, he said like that. I didn't, he said. Well, he said, the woman walked up in front of us, he said. And she walked up, come out of one of that, he said, and down the other.
Never got up the height.
And the other fella didn't see her at all. And that was the case, because your man told me it was the case. He said, definitely he said, I seen her.
I seen or heard ghosts anyway.
Ghosts?
I was at a man's wake on Sunday afternoon, and that night he came to the door. Step came to the door, and the dog was outside, and the dog knew him well, but the dog went stone crackers.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, on 3 times" to the dog.
Yeah.
So after that, I don't know what happened, because I was going to bed anyway. My mother got me up to bed,
Yeah.
and she locked the door so that he wouldn't get in.
Yeah.
That's all I knew about him. He was a neighbour of ours. He used to come out anytime he'd be down, he'd come to see us.
Oh yeah, there was a fella lived up always down there, and he used to be afraid at night, like he'd leave and there was ghosts and things. He's going home from his brothers one night, and he said he met a pair of glasses. But that's all, the man was invisible, but all he could see was a pair of glasses. And he believed that. And the people that have the shop, the Morans and the names, their fathers, people that know their fathers said he met his father going out in the Japson place in the land. Met him, he said, no one could tell him anything else, but he met him. The man was dead for a few years at the time, you know. I don't know anyone on that.
I used to have premonitions. I'd see the thing happening before it happened at all. And I don't care who heard me saying it or anyone will tell me. I was at the door with my husband this night, and he was going home, and I said to him, "Who's your man at the far side of the road?" And he said to me, "You're seeing things, you know, there's no man over there." But I could see the shadow of a man, and my daddy was in the bed at the time, and he died a couple of weeks after, you know.
Premonitions,
Yeah.
Well, there used to be carriages going up to Bannon House, driving up, and the maids would be out to open the doors and welcome them all in, and should have been nobody out there. Often heard that. I don't know.
This carriage used to, if anyone belonged to anyone in Bannon House, like, died way far away in England now, because there were a lot of English people. And the carriage would be always heard when any of them would die. You could hear the horses trotting and all down and
That was always said anyhow.
yeah. So the someone did belong to Bannon House. The dead carriage was heard last night.
My often is that there's a maid to go up and answer the door and all that, with nobody there. I don't know whether there were stories anyway, there was truth or things. No one would believe that today though.
Dave Welsh, he was in America.
Yeah, for years, and he didn't know Captain Boyce had died.
No,
And
he was a great friend of his.
Did
Did you think he seen him here? He met him on the hill. And he did.
Yeah, he walked out the Grand Avenue and walked up the hill in Soho with him. And sure, Dave didn't mind because he often had none before he went to America. No, I didn't hear that he went I didn't hear that Dave went to America, went to bed, but he never.
But heavens, he was in the bed for years
But
before
he
he
never
died.
went that road anymore. He went to Canada, but he didn't go that road. He went
I
up
will.
the main.
So that must have happened.
Oh, sure that.
Well, I don't really know, but I heard about it because I had a first cousin working down the house for years. Yeah. And there was one, do you know where Joe, what you call him, Whelan lived?
Oh yeah.
There was a man lived down there, and White was his name, and he was supposed to be seen several nights there. People gave up going that road
Yeah.
for a while. Then there was another fellow from Blackhall, Jim Monaghan, and he was going with a girl down from Salt Mills. And this night he was coming back anyway, and there was a hearse at the graveyard over in Ballylannon. And your man went to bed for about 3 weeks. Horses now then,
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
horses that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they say that about the graveyards, that whoever was buried last, they were always on the gate. So we used to be frightened to let them pass the one.
Well, that's what they did, and you'd be on the air.
Yeah, you'd be on the gate. We used to be frightened to let them pass
Yeah.
the graveyard, you know. And it was really bad. But some people don't say that. They say in Kilhaven,
Yeah.
there's something that the third one is always on the gate.
Well, that's it. It's in them, when the one died now, he'll be on the gate now tonight.
And was
The
buried
buried,
city.
the whole city was,
The city was wiped out of it
yeah.
years and years and years ago.
And they said if you went down on a clear day, you might see them.
No, every 7 years, if you happen to be there on the right time, you'd see the tops of the chimneys in the water.
Yeah.
Because I seen them. Except for the two nails, as we got into that pony down home to Pertwee, because we thought it was all a joke. We seen them all right.
But we had Tell of the Devil in Loftus Hall. You ever hear Tell of Loftus Hall? It's down near the Hook. Devil appeared there years ago and they're playing cards. This fella rode up on a horse or something. So put the horse in the stable and he was going to stay there. There was to keep people there. And they were starting a card game anyway. They were playing away and he was winning all the money, I think. But a card dropped off at the table. He was sitting alongside of this grand lady that was, she was young, lived there in Loftus Hall. And she stooped down to take up the card and she saw a cloven hoof. A cloven hoof is sort of like a horse's hoof with a split in it, you see. And sure, the great story after there's a film about that, but she died, she got bad head for years after the fright she got, I think. The devil, this man was supposed to run through the roof of the house. And they never they put slates on, they never could keep slates on when he went out, so.
Poor old Lord Tierney, she knew Lord died.
Lord Tierney.
He was married to a Carol of Grantstown children, and every Sunday evening in the summer he was to go walking from the island to Grantstown. And this night he came home and he was in an awful state. And I can see him still. And he was coming by Hayes, where Peter Hayes lived. He said in the inn off the road, he saw this long brown thing, he said. And I can see him still putting out his hand, describing it. A brown thing, it was bigger than a dog. It was a long brown thing, he says, like that. Well, whatever happened to him, he never went to Grantstown no more.
When we were school children, we went to the Fight School, and before the nuns, the John of God nuns got that school, it was belonged to the Christian Brothers. And there was a brother, and I never forgot his name, Brother Wrigley. He died, and he was buried now under where we had a tap out in the yard. He was buried down there, but when they shifted from up to Joseph Street, they dug him up and brought him to Joseph Street. And every 7 years or something, he used to come there. And we were on in the class one day, now there were 2 classes together that time, and the priest always come out. No priest goes now much, do they? But the priest would be there. And we saw the priest, and he went to the door, and he stood in the door and made a sign of a cross. the priest was just going to walk into the room where we were, and he was aware of it, like, you know, he must have got, and he went out and made a sign across, and we knew nothing. But they said it was him. You know, Father Cardiff was the priest he had, he was a lovely man.
My mother worked there, she was only 14.
Oh yeah, in Grantstown, to be come to the place. There's an old
She was
castle.
14 years of age.
Yeah, there's a castle in where he is.
She said she went out fastening the hens one evening, and she seen this man. She explained him in a great suit. She even could explain that he had a gold watch chain. You know, the men used to wear the gold watch
Yeah,
chain.
years ago.
And she would come in, top of the next day or the dinner or something. Did anyone see the ghost last night? Well, talking about the ghost, she didn't know because she was only young.
Yeah, yeah.
She didn't know who they were talking about. Oh, he was out last night. And said to her then, Mary, did you see anything? You were out fastening the hens. I did, she says. I seen a man but in a grey suit, she says. And I said, well, I don't, she says, I didn't know but he was an ordinary. If that was it, I didn't know but it was an ordinary man. And that was him, and she had spoken to him and seen him. And she explained the way he was dressed, grey hat, grey suit, even the gold chain. She told us that's the day she died.
Yeah.
Walking around the castle.
He would be down to someone that had died out of it, I suppose.
Mr. Sparrow, his name.
Sparrow, yeah.
Yeah.
Sparrow's owned it.
Yeah.
And there was, out across the Bealtaine, there was a man who used to be seen. Because my brother-in-law, Lord of mercy on my sister, she was married to him. He was going home one night after being at our place at home, like, you know, and he met your man in the carriage, and he died. You know, John nearly died with the fright.
Well, the big place there, down in, and on the hook there, Templeton, remember that big place on there? The devil come down through, and the room closed up the whole. The one like they didn't. That's only a couple of years. There used to be nuns there one day. Remember that place, Mikey? Where the devil come down?
Well,
Down Loftus Hall, that's where it is. You should know Loftus Hall, eh? Loftus Hall.
I heard about it all. The devil come down there.
Oh yeah, they come down. Down through the roof.
Oh, stop.
So we used to be afraid of our life.
Down at the old station.
Yeah, going up to the graveyard, you know, the church lane we call
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh, we used to be afraid of our life there long ago when we were small. There were all sorts of everything seen. Tall black men walking up the hill to the station with tall black hats on. And there was a long Andy Curran of the Bay used to go to the island. And he was coming up this hill in the station one night and he met this tall black man or a dark man going down the hill. He didn't speak, of course. And that time, that must be quite a long time ago, there were gates on the Bay Road at the cross. Well, when this man, this Curran fella come to there, he was opening the gates, and at the same time that he opened that gate, the gate going into the graveyard rattled. One of them was as near to the gate as the other. That fella was out for the night. That fella was out for the night and he was going back home.
And when we went back to Mulligan, we went back to the house where this man had lived, where his uncle lived. And you know a house now where there'd be a man in it on his own. There was a fire on the ground, and we had to get rid of that and get a rainbow cooker in, like, you know, and we were doing it up by degrees. And he used to sleep in a little room off the parlour, and he had no electricity in there because he was blind. And there was no electricity in it until we went up, and we were getting it in the different rooms, like, you know. And this evening I said, the insurance man came, and he was paying insurance, John Moran was, that's Nicky's uncle. And I said to him, he was due to get an endowment in June, and this was April. And I happened to say to him, I said, if anything happened to John Moran now, between him and all harm, and he said, I said, will these people get his money? Oh no, he said, he'd have to be alive to get it, the endowment. So this evening, you know, Nicky had gone off with girls for Camogie, you know, a train, and I was there on my own with the two little children, and Helen, two of them. And anyway, I said, said to myself, there's no sign of John Moore getting up. He used to know the daylight from the dark. The daylight,
Can I pass there?
the daylight I had a bird, I had a canary, and the canary would be singing when the daylight would come in. And when she'd stop singing, he'd know it'd be dark, and he'd get up out of bed then. But it was well gone dark and he hadn't come up. And I said, I'm going to make tea and bring it down to him. He had Eddie's dinner now at dinner hour. I remember I had a stew and he enjoyed it. And I said, I'll bring him down the tea, maybe he's not getting up today. And when I went down, I called him. Now there was no light in the room. And I had the candles on the sideboard and the priest used to come to him, you know. And I said, I go up and I light the candle. And I did that and I went down again and I got no answer. With that, there was a cousin of Nicky's came in the front door, and I said to him, Kevin, I'm after calling John Moore 3 times, and I said, he never answered. And he went down and he came back up to me, he said, Breda, he's dead. And when I was cutting the bread for him now, and I tell you, I was cutting his bread, and a man passed by the kitchen window. And I said, oh, he mustn't know we have the front door now at the other side of the house, you know. So he's gone around to the back door. I went out and opened the door and there's no one in the yard.
That was his veg.
And that was John Moore. It was the very same now, you know. And people will tell you now, but I did see premonitions. And they become true, like, you know.
Well, my father seen his stepfather walking down the road before he died. He couldn't believe it. And he went in and he just about to die.
Oh, it's funny, you know, but people now would laugh at you about them things.